Hi, everybody, and welcome to our full album review to Krizz Kaliko's Immortal album. I stumbled. I almost said the name of a song instead of the album. I'm so sorry, everybody. My name is Holden Stephan Roy.
My name is Chris Chrome.
And today on the Headspace podcast, this bonus episode in our EP weekend, we will be discussing our second EP that we're recording today, Krizz Kaliko's Immortal project. It's 4 songs, and we're going to go through all 4 of them, track by track, giving our thoughts and opinions on every single song, and that is what we do here. We appreciate y'all in advance because it's dope that you would spend time clicking on this video and even watching it, so that makes you a superstar. And we look forward to seeing what you think in the comments.
Quick question. Was it the thumbnail that made you click? Was it the artist? Was it our faces? Let me know in the comments so I can try to keep y'all interested.
Was it the length of the video?
Well,
because you're like, how is this video so long when the project is 11 minutes or whatever? It's because we talk a lot. So we do care a lot, though, about your comments for real. So I look forward to seeing what you think. I want to hear from the Krizz Kaliko fans, the Strange Music Squad, what you guys think on this project, how you felt about the contract signing. Was it just like sincere to you? Or like, this is my real question, because like I'm like a Fairweather fan in regards to, not a Fairweather fan, but like I'm a pretty casual fan when it comes to the roster of Strange Music. I follow tech a lot more, but when it comes to Krizz Kaliko, not really a huge focus up until this moment, I suppose. And so I wonder, was the contract signing a PR stunt in your opinion, or was it like a sincere and genuine thing? Anyway, before we jump into the episode, just a quick special shout out to the patrons: Ismail Gadamsi, Chris Prado, Jonathan Barnes, DJ Black Hurricane, Linda Williams, and Coney Sparks. There's totally dope, so we shout them out while y'all still watching.
Thank you.
And yeah, let us get into the episode. So Mr. Christopher, what project are we talking about today?
So for this second bonus Headspace review, we went with Krizz Kaliko's project Immortal.
And before we get into it, his Twitter is Chris Chrome, Christopher Johnson 93.
My Twitter handle is Chris Chrome 93.
And he really wants somebody to tweet him, so you can give him a pity tweet. He's been begging, so just
it's not a pity tweet. I had a nice conversation last night.
And he wants to
on
have
Twitter.
more nice
Y'all can go and check it out and speak with us.
So this is the part of the show where we like to contextualize our familiarity with the artist and talk about how big Krizz Kaliko fans we are and whatnot. And the reason for that is because if you've been like a fan of his for the last decade, you've been following his whole career, you really care deeply about his music and all of this stuff, your experience with a project like Immortal dropping at this point is going to be maybe different than somebody like myself who, honestly, I know who Krizz Kaliko is because he's featured on a bunch of tech songs that I've listened to. I mean, he's on Speed 'Em with Eminem and all that. That's a pretty huge accomplishment. But I don't know if you ever heard of the rapper The Joker, and he makes some songs dissing Hobson, and he kind of like makes this line where Swizz can join Krizz Kaliko and be a whole group of hype man and whatnot, and it just kind of always felt like, at least from my perception, Krizz Kaliko was like a second-tier Tech 9, and he kind of played like this secondary role on the roster, like his number 2, but his number 2. And so I guess I just never took him that seriously. And part of why I wanted to review this project is because one of the patrons is using their powers to make us review a Krizz Kaliko album in a couple of weeks. So you can expect to see us talk about the Kickin' and Screamin' project, I think it's called, in a couple of weeks. And so I look forward to getting to that. But with that, I thought it would be extra dope to take a look at what he's doing like today before going back in time, just because, you know, Krizz Kaliko dropped his little album here. But I know he is an admirable person in terms of overcoming the adversity. I forgot what he's sick with, but I know he's sick and he deals with that. And
I don't know if it's face paint, but doesn't he got like that skin thing with his eyes? Like, I know his eyes are different, like his eyelids are different color or something.
I know that he has like something, and I'm certain we can Google it, but like Krizz Kaliko has overcome a lot, and he's actually like a really admirable dude. I've never heard anything bad about him. A lot of his music is pretty positive and like interesting from what I have heard of it, because I've listened to him, but I've always found him to be like Tech 9 light.
So vitiligo, vitiligo, is a long-term skin condition characterized by patches of the skin losing their pigment. The patches of skin affected become white and usually have sharp margins. The hair from the skin may also become white. The inside of the mouth and nose may also be involved.
So can we just point out how incredible it is that he like pushed forward into a public spotlight with something so visible?
Also, according to Wikipedia, this is where I'm getting the information, Kaliko has also been diagnosed with bipolar disorder. He named a track on his second album after this disorder.
Fair enough. I mean, on the not to say mental, but on the more mind side of things, I guess it's more frequent to see people with some issues who do pursue music. I think a lot of us go through something or another. But I think he's just had a particularly harder life and used that to like fuel himself forward. And I think like it makes me want to look more into his music because he's not just like another guy, and it's not just like a niche or whatever. It's like he's a guy who overcomes and grinds, you know what I mean, and puts in that work, and it's pretty respectable how much he's actually like put out. So I was kind of excited to see this, but honestly I hadn't really delved that deep before.
I'm the same way. The first time I found Krizz Kaliko, or is it Kaliko?
Kaliko.
The first time I found Krizz Kaliko was his song Unstable, about 7 years ago when I was 18. Honestly, I was bumping a Tech 9 track, and then he came on, and I was just like, oh, this is cool. But I think what really led me to him was, yeah, him being that like featured role next to Tech 9. That's how I knew who he was. And moving forward, I always got excited when I heard Krizz Kaliko just because of what he can do, what he can produce, the tricky little flows he can do, and like just kind of like a little bit of what got me inspired into Tech 9. But I as well never really found much of an interest beyond any of his features. Like I never really caught myself going through his music, going down that rabbit hole. Now I do want to say the first time when Unstable did come on the YouTube playlist or whatever, I did take, let's say, 10-20 minutes to go down a little bit of a trail to see who he was, what he can do, but that's really the extent. I've never actually dived right into it.
Fair enough. So here we have 4 songs from the Kaliko Man himself. The project is called Immortal. Fine. I guess if you're still at it, Immortal's a good project to come back to immortalize your legacy. Kind of makes me feel like he's going to be taking a stand with this project. But I like the cover. Unlike the Tech 9 project, which it left me with this meh feeling, everything about this cover looks cool. Like the way the abstract shapes just kind of flow together to kind of paint an ambiance. The way the red explicit lyrical content matches the red Immortal. Plus the simplicity of it makes it nice. Like you could almost put that on a shirt and bump it and it would be like fucking cool. Unlike the Tech 9 cover, which was meh. So I thought it was pretty dope. Honestly, from a cover, from a visual, it made me curious for the project, but like it isn't a next level cover.
I agree. I don't actually have much to say. I do like the color context. I do like the kind of gray shading in the background. But for me, this kind of just really seems very simple, and I think that's the point. I think it's really to immortalize his name, immortalize the project, and not really trying to give you a description on terms of what the album's going to be as the album cover. It's kind of seems, I say plain, but in this like,
it's got a lot of detail when you really look at it.
I'm not taking away the detail from it. I'm just saying, like, it for me, it doesn't really look very out there. It kind of seems very simple. It looks like there's raindrops. It's water kind of moving around. I don't know if that looks maybe like leaves or some shit. It's nice. Like, it's nice. It does, I guess, what it's supposed to do.
Okay. The first song is called Bitches I Know. Man, I have no idea how I feel about this song.
Thank God you said it, because neither do I.
There's like a swag to it. And the way he raps the song, like the way he raps it, I feel it. Like I feel it. What he's going on about, I'm assuming it's like No New Friends. I think.
Women.
I don't know if it was just limited to women. But
hey, only fuck bitches I know. Only fuck bitches I know. Yeah, I be popping. They be ready to go. oh yeah, get out of my way, they shoot.
Look, high five, but what you waiting on? Living great at the gate and your money long. Just wait, they be hating on. Get a hit and your bitch just play along. I'm what they want. Yeah, Krizz what they want.
Wait, verse 2, but verse 1, right?
Yeah,
Give
but
it
I
away.
said this song kind of is like no new friends, including no new women, no new this. It's like, it's very similar to a song on Tech Nine's project, which essentially kind of conveyed the same message. If you remember how he started his little EP.
Okay, fair.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I think there is a clear and concise message that the only women Krizz Kaliko will intercourse with are women he knows, as opposed to new ones. Which I wonder, like, if that's a bad idea. I feel like you might want to have a couple new ones every now. Like, if you're in a world, right, and you got 3 women you know that you sleep with, and then drama. Now what? Well, now you're not allowed to sleep with anybody because you've decided that you can't fuck bitches unless this allows for in the clause that you get to know somebody new. And therefore, you get to know them. I know I'm overthinking it, but this is
I kind of think I actually like the way he's thinking, to be fair. I think it's easier to be sleeping with people you know and kind of have that, like...
in the chorus to talk about shooting, right?
Yes, I said that. I read that line, yes.
So it's not just about bitches.
Points proven. But I'm talking about the concept of him only sleeping with women that he knows. I actually think that's pretty cool. Like, yeah, you can deal with different people all the time, but different people act different ways, and you have to take time to get to know them and build all these things. If you already got like a set group of people who know what you're kind of about, know that you're on that side doing X, Y, Z, and they're all kind of cool rocking with it, yeah, when there's drama that happens, it's a little bit easier to deal with than be like, yo, we've been doing this for X, Y, Z. Let's talk it out. Let's try to figure something out.
I don't know.
Instead of dealing with some new person who's going to flip the lid.
I'm not necessarily... Look, I'm into the mentality of I'm going to protect my chakra by keeping negative energy away from me. So I become more reclusive, and you know what? Like I appreciate like that sentiment, because it's not necessarily that there's no room in my life for no people. It's there's no room in my life for a certain kind of people, and I respect that. On the other hand, it seems silly to me that you're an individual on Earth and you've decided, nope, there will literally be no new friends in my life. And you know that that's not true.
Yeah.
Because you're going to maybe decide you like badminton one day. And you're going to go to the badminton club. And you're going to meet this fine little cutie. And then that fine little cutie is going to be somebody. And then...
fuck you in the gym stall.
And then you're going to do it. And then you're going to have fucked a bitch you didn't know.
Question. No, but hold on.
And I don't judge you for that.
But is that like... I think there is a division there.
I think what he's trying to convey is in the sense of these like thirsty people who approach him and like throw them. Because you're right. In the first verse, it makes it a little bit kind of sound like he's with a particular person. Watch what you lay, trying to get paid. Soon as you lay down, that's way too much. Without ass in the sun, it's like you're trying too hard, etc., etc. It's not like you're trying to get to know me. And I do believe this whole track is about the people who superficially try to connect to him for his status and things like that, rather than actually getting to know him. I just hate when the catch line of his song is stupid. Like the entire idea of there will literally be no new people in my life is fucking dumb. It's just a dumb idea that's not grounded in any kind of healthy reality. Now, you can say, I'll apply a high level of discretion in order to limit the number of new people in my life to ensure that the new people in my life in the future are actually people I should know, and that's a positive thing. And I accept that mission statement. But I suppose it's easier to say, I'm only going to fuck bitches I know.
I don't know. Like, I mean, I'm kind of down with that.
Like, let's say you're on tour, okay, and you meet some girl, and she's fine, and you decide, yeah, I'm feeling it, and you go for it. That sounds like something that might happen to Krizz Kaliko in the next 10 years of his life.
Okay, so to bring it right back to what I was trying to say earlier, I think there is a difference between fucking with somebody like on a consistent basis and then just that individual one-time stand night. Like, you go out to the show, perform, you got the groupie who's like, oh my God, take me home! And then, you take her to the hotel, you do the thing, and then she leaves. It's like you're never talking to her again.
But then you fucked a bitch you know.
Which
no.
I understand, but it's like, I feel like he's not trying to say literally just fucking. Like, he's only fucking, like
I think
I fucks with you. That.
Like I said, I know I might be overthinking this, but I think it's a silly, core, catchy concept. It's almost like the verses are alright.
I know. No,
I like the way he delivers them, and I generally like the message he's conveying, and I actually really respect it. The hook of the song is pretty trash, in my opinion, and that's my little opinion. You don't have to like it. Like, I just think if, like, it was framed in a way where, like, it's like, I don't fuck with snakes, that would be like that would be my preference. I know I'm being nitpicky. I gave this a 4.35 because it is really well produced. It's extremely well delivered. I don't know what Chris is talking about. It's weird, but in a way that has like a groove where you're like, only for bitches, I know. It's got like the hand. It's like I don't know if you can't see me on one of those listening parts, but my hands are doing the rolly thing. And so it's like, that's how I feel, like old 2003 dancing. So I can't hate it. I just don't know that I love it.
So I gave it a 3.7.
Wow.
I mean, I don't think it's... No, I do think it's bad. I'm not even going to try to deny that. I don't really like this song. I like how he presents it in terms of, like, trying this new flow thing and really trying to be out there and showcase what he can do. But this is not... No. I was like, what? This is how we're starting this? What the fuck is this? No. But again, 3.7 is not bad. So
it's pretty bad to me. Follow the drip. This Tech 9 verse was better than all of the Tech 9 verses on Tech 9's project. Can we just, like this was a really freaking great Tech 9 verse.
So,
I mean, the way he chops it up, the way he recorded it all for, like, freaking perfection and stuff. Holy crap. It was so good. Krizz Kaliko's verse, I am so 50-50 on. But Tech 9 delivered the best verse of Tech 9 I've heard this weekend on this project.
So that's my problem with this song. Right off the bat, I did give it a 4.5 on 5. It's a fucking great song. But I think that's where my issue is. The first song on this project came on, and I was like, oh my God, what do I do? This song came on, and I went, of course the song featuring the powerhouse of fucking strange music is going to be super polished, super great, super good. He does, to me, Krizz Kaliko does 10 times better on this than his first track. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
See, I can't, like, be, like, better like that. And I have to just say, he's doing apples and oranges. He was doing a slowed down, singy swag flow on the last track. Here is more of the rapidy kind of stuff. And
so then let me say this is more of my preference.
That's fairer. Because, like, I mean, it's just comparing things relatively speaking. Like, if this was another... Now, you could say the way he goes, follow the drip is similar, but he kind of... By the time he's like, you better molly a monologue. And you're like, okay, now he's doing the rappy thing.
Now, the whole follow the drip, I don't know why they did that. Like, I don't know why they're trying to be trendy to me.
Because they're like that. They're cool kids.
I don't know. That kind of set me off a little bit. Just like and here's the thing. I like the song. It's really fucking good. But
do kids even say drip? That sounds like an old man thing.
No, drip is swag. Drip is diamonds. Yo, check out my drip. Yo, new drip on the way. It's like got my new necklace, got my new wrist.
Damn,
got my new
old.
So that's why I'm a little bit, I guess, upset because I'm like, I've never really heard.
This is all of my drip.
I've never really heard Tech 9 or Krizz Kaliko or anybody in strange music really be trendy like that. Yes, Tech makes some puns. He kind of uses some pop culture references that I've heard, and he does it in a very kind of like.
You've also said you never listened to Krizz Kaliko's albums, so you don't really...
No, but I've heard a lot of his featured verses.
You've never listened to his albums. You've just heard his featured verses on other people's projects.
Fair. So from what I've heard, and I've also said from what I've heard, just to be clear.
Okay, still...
I just never seen them to be like that. And then they made a song that sounds like everything we've been getting from, like, fucking all the new shit.
What are you talking about?
Like, just in terms of, like, follow the drip. Look at the swag. Look at this. Look at that. And I'm just like...
that's, like, just the hook. Yeah, that might be, like, literally the hook. But to, like, limit the whole song to that, and
no, I'm not trying to limit the whole song.
I'm gonna guess that it's also not the first time that Tech 9 or Krizz Kaliko have a simplistic, catchy hook.
Well, fair.
I mean, I don't know. I listened to the song and I'm like, you got a problem with it? I can promise you better molly a monologue if you're no longer sober and shit, which I thought was interesting. That, like, people on Molly do spit out these monologues and shit. And so he's kind of pointing out that, like, you know what, do what you got to do if you're not sober, but almost implying that he's sober at this point, which I thought was kind of nifty. He's solid with Drake and solid with Ye, and he's solid with Eminem and fucking him and him. And I just kind of like the way he put it. He's like, look, I got credentials. And I felt like he was trying really hard to validate, well, I guess how credible he is in the game based on the people that he's met and connected with. And you know what? Krizz Kaliko is really got a good resume from that point of view, because everybody's comments about him who has worked with him is always how freaking dope he is. And then the rest of the verse, I didn't really feel a whole lot of ways about. It was fine. Like, pass the ball to a half as tall, gonna wreck his ass fall, playing basketball like a mellow jello, tell your lady hello on his trash talk beat, gas and y'all, gotta move, gotta. It's just like, whatever. He's just, I mean, whatever, because it's like, he's not really engaging me. He's following the flow. Basically, he raps better and he's fine. He's fine. I don't know. There's literally not much else in the rest of his verse that I can remember enough to comment. Except, I guess he's trying to play at the end, follow and now they what's up. Don't do too much. I do enough. What would people do to get their followers up? And I guess it's a little bit saying, I'm gonna keep it real, and other people are gonna sell out and do whatever. I might sign a contract on stage to get my followers up, but they'll do a lot of less than integrity things, and props to them. Good marketing campaigns are a good way to get your followers up. Boom Gang is a good example of how not to get your followers up. He shot himself in the leg. That was silly.
In the leg or the dick?
No, I'm pretty sure it was in the leg, next to the dick.
Dick.
I think it was next to his dick.
Let's check it.
I don't think it's that important. Nobody really cares that much about Boom Gang. I just thought it was nifty that he was doing pornos. And then the chorus is fine, hey, look, follow the drip. They say you found me, working with nobody around me. Follow the drip. And it just kind of sounds like he's figured out his own wavelength in life. He's found his way through to the next place. But Tech Nine's verse fucked me up, man, because he's doing some shit like really fast, tricky stuff. I realized Tech Nine is not the kind of guy that believes in recording a verse in one take, right? Like, it's more important for him to do the theatrics, and you'll realize it when half the line is like one tone, one effect, and is recorded and then perfected, and then he bounces off of himself and whatnot. And I think it's just so well done. The speed and the delivery of so many of the lines is interesting, and it's really kind of what you want Tech Nine to be. Like that, like, in the world, if I think of flossy, technically next level tricky dudes,
yeah,
Tech Nine is possibly the GOAT in that regards to me, and that's his best talent to the game. So I think he excels at it, and then also manages to be a little consistent, less flowing, Years of dropping, I cleared the block, cannot hear you knocking, so fucking high-headed, my ears are popping, I'm telling you, I can't even hear all the cheers they chalking. Like, he's kind of flying high. He's doing his thing. I mean, he kind of just, I don't know. I don't actually know what they're talking about in this song. I just feel like
I feel like they're just flossing. Straight up, I feel like they're just flossing. In terms of when I read Follow the Drip, I was like, this is a flossing song. They're gonna do tricky shit.
And that's really fine. Like, I'm abusive to dispute. The Nina's dying to spew shit. I'm trying to nuke it. The rhyme is intrusive to this planet, but I'm flying reclusive. I never want to be disinfound, but I'm saying this really quick and scrounge. Shut the fuck up and listen, man.
That's cool.
I've been lifted when I come to visit. I see me dying over a motherfucking chicken Sam, and that I thought was cool because he's literally referencing how the Popeyes chicken situation, which it's nuts, man. I wish there was chicken good enough to kill people over up in Canada. I know that's a terrible thing to say, but evidently this chicken is good enough to some people to die for. That must be a good sandwich. Now, I'm not promoting that. I know how ignorant that sounds. I'm not promoting that. I think it's kind of silly, all things considered. Mm-hmm. On the other hand, when was the last time we got a cool sandwich that, like, caused a craze? Just nothing. We get watered down health restrictions. Like, for real. It's just by the time it gets to Quebec, it's like, it's a lot healthier, so it tastes like a lot less good.
The meat's really real.
Anyway,
I
that may have been
really-
a stupid thing to say on camera, but it's a really good verse from Tech Nine, and I'm gonna give this track a 4.5. I thought it was pretty enjoyable to listen to. Yeah.
I also gave the song a 4.5. I do enjoy it. I do really like them both. And this kind of brought me back to like younger days in terms of when I was listening to Tech Nine and Krizz Kaliko. It's just like, this is what I expect from both of these guys. So nice.
All right, so that's half the project already done, and I know Chris is so excited for the feature on What Do You Mean. This song just sounds like a trendy, new everything you would hear from like the main. Basically, this song sounds like what I feel you described the last song, whereas the last song may have used the word drip in the way and it gave you that feeling.
Right.
I feel like the sound of this song gave me that feeling where it just kind of blended a little more into a mainstream. But what I have to give them credit for is how this is the third very distinct sounding track.
Yep.
So kudos to Krizz Kaliko for versatility. Even if this one connected a little bit less with me, it's another one where I think we're getting some flossing and whatnot. But can we just get to the end of the first verse? It's my favorite part. You hear some girl talking with him, which I thought was cool. So as her element, and she's going, "I think I love this person. I love them big boys, but better not get no bigger." And then Krizz Kaliko, and like I would be like, hey, what do you mean? And then it just hits into the chorus, and I was like, that's pretty funny. Like, that cracked me up. That I thought was hilarious. Like, it just, you don't hear a lot of big boys talk about big boy shit where girls might say that. She's like, I like you as big as you are, but if you get fatter, I'm not going to fuck you no more. That's not the average narrative inside of a hip-hop song, is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
What do you think about this one?
I felt like I like it because I'm biased because of King ISO, personally. Because I don't really like Krizz Kaliko's verse. He did well. He does what he does. But I was just kind of like, meh. I felt like...
it's delivered so well.
It is delivered well, but I feel
and
like...
lyrically, it's the same shit.
But I think that's what I'm going at, is like... Like, I know it's going to be delivered well. I know that he's good at what he does. But I'm also just really biased over King ISO. I like his voice, and I like his flow, and I like how he does shit. I like how he switches up from, I'm clutching this tech, and I'm from the regime. This shit can't be ugly. Like one on the team. I fuck bad bitches. It's a wonderful thing. That pussy go burn. Money machine. Y'all can never fuck with the team. I pass you butterscreen. Like, I just like how he switches it up and does his thing, and it gets me all going. And I was like,
I
yes,
really respect that.
thank you for bringing King ISO back.
But like, I don't feel like King ISO is particularly next level with it. It's a little more follow the numbers. Whereas Tech 9 reinvents the wheel, and Krizz Kaliko brings a distinction. Like, here's the thing. I feel like Krizz Kaliko kind of doesn't exactly sound like everyone else. It sounds like his take on, like, a modern flow. Whereas King ISO, it's like, you're right. When he does his little transition, it's so clean. It's so perfect. Mm-hmm. To a point where it's like, when you think
like
about...
stupid polished.
Because we're going to talk about Conway the Machine. When you think about Conway the Machine's
spoilers,
jaggedy, grimy flow, I almost find that more attractive than the cleanliness of how picture perfect King ISO's flow is. It's not that it's bad. It's that it lacks a certain degree of soul to me. And I don't mean that in a negative way, like he's not a good rapper, because he's truly excellent, but... I've never heard a verse from the guy, and I'm left with, he is somebody I'm going to remember because he pops out and is distinct. But let's say I'm still at that phase where, like, the trickety fast rhyme's coming. It's really, he sounds perfect in that realm. Like, he's really good for that specific thing.
Well, I also found King ISO back with Twisted Insane on a lot of like horrorcore stuff. So like that's where I'm saying I haven't heard that. Right. I'm saying this verse let's say I'm talking about this verse in particular. Right. It's like I'm like a buffering screen, or I passed you people. I'm like a buffering screen. Loaded gas and people call my cutlass supreme. Bro, get laughing at him while we puffing this cream. Flexing, living, look at all this effing definition. And it's like, it's not particularly next level. It's a lot of shit that rhymes and flossing in a top level kind of way. But it's not like
like brilliant. Like that Sega Genesis line fucked me up, man. That was a good line. I don't remember if it was this album or the Tech album.
It was the Tech album.
But like I'm certain people here probably listen to both projects. So I'm just saying that impressed me. I was like, whoa, stood out. Or the Big Boy thing. That was funny. I didn't get that from his almost generic when at Heaven's Gate go see me and ask, what do you mean? What do I mean? I'm like, okay, what are you trying to say here, dog? I don't fully get the energy he's putting forward.
I mean, I do, because he's not somebody you want to fuck with, but I also know this from a lot of the verses that I've heard with Twisted Insane. Like, a lot of his, like, really crazy psycho verses, kind of likes all this shit. So,
sure enough.
when I listen to this, I'm like, this is everything that I like about King ISO.
Sometimes, like, I wonder if I say this shit and one of these rappers hears it, and then I'm like, I maybe travel to, like, you know, LA or something one day. I get jumped by some. Like, it can happen.
You just want a trip to LA just to get your ass beat.
Yeah, like, you know, like, you're that fucking guy who talks shit about. I'm like, that's not what I'm trying to do on this particular one. I'm not even dissing the dude. The guy is an excellent rapper. I'm saying he's so glossy. Like, I want a depth. This is like what I like about Krizz Kaliko, especially on the first track, is how imperfect it is. Like, his voice cracks and this type of shit.
I'll give him that. I like his diversity and how
his
he
soul.
can do things.
There's like a soul and a depth to his delivery. Where even if I don't care as much about the lyrics per se, I like the way he delivers. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too whatever. I think this one's okay. I believe I gave this a 4.25 on 5. It's not my favorite, but it's still a good song.
I as well gave it a 4.2 on 5.
The last one is definitely different. Again, kudos for the diversity. And you are awesome person watching / listening to this. I like this one because it's personal. As in, I feel like this was the first time we got a real glimpse of him putting his guard down on this project. It isn't so braggadocious. It's just really, like, almost sensitive. I like the bridge, the I can't hear you. Anyway, it just sounds really pretty. It's really nice. And then the way he raps these verses, you can feel the pain and the darkness of what he's going through, like the depression that he's trying to express, you know? And then you could put me on a pedestal, promise that I'll never let it go, commas, and I'm seeing several, say I'm next to blow, next to bro, I'm going to saddle up, told me to saddle up. You know, and imagine the pressure of getting the money, having your situation, getting ready to have your moment. It almost feels like the moment doesn't actually come. Maybe I'm just reading into it, but that's kind of what it felt like.
Well, I like how he's also presenting this, like, confusion in terms of, like, holy shit, this worked. Like, holy shit, my skills, my rapping, my efforts are actually working. People want more. I need to give them more. And it's like that not only do you put that pressure on yourself, but now it's like you feel other pressure, other stress, because you're like, yo, I've got 50,000 people who want songs.
But it's also more like it's like you get a lot of love, but it's not enough for the kid because it's probably like he's probably been second to Tech 9 throughout his whole career. It must be something that's very challenging to have to go through where you're not the focus. And like, I don't know. It just sounds like something that isn't easy to be number 2. I think you could break away and be number 1 on your own way.
But I think that's your own choice. Like, to be completely fair, if I look at just myself.
What if you look at the sales numbers time after time, and let's say Tech 9 gets an extra 0 next to his, and it's just at the end of the day, it's not like you can go headline a tour that looks like his. And why? Because you're pigeonholed into this moment, and whether or not that's
So here's what I'm trying to say. I don't think Krizz Kaliko went into this not knowing that. I think there is that part of you that's like, I could make it, but I think all the part of it is like... I think
that's not true. I think at some point the expectation is Tech gets his thing and then everyone else gets equal glory. And that's why people leave labels, ultimately, because the equal glory doesn't come. You know? And I'm not saying Krizz Kaliko doesn't have a lot of love in Strange Music Lab. I'm saying he's basically unheard of outside of Strange Music Land. And the people who are really up to whatever on the indie scene.
But isn't that like everybody in Strange Music? Like, when's the last time you heard of a Stevie Stone or a Says Crew?
I mean, I don't know them that well personally, but that's kind of my point. So imagine just
Like the only one that
no,
I
but like
found off
Krizz
was
Kaliko's
Murs.
been around for how long? You know?
I mean, but I get that, but that's what I'm saying. Like the only person off of Strange Music that I've like seen outside is Murs. He's the only one that I found through Strange, and that he, I guess, broke away or whatever,
Yeah,
and
but
did his
Murs
own
was
thing.
like very established before Strange.
So, but then I feel like that kind of just brings back my point. Like if you go into Strange Music, you kind of have to be like, yeah, I'm gonna be second or third to Tech no
But
matter what
like
happens. But
at a
that's part of
certain
like your.
point, you have to make a decision after getting. So you get the clout of being on Strange. Then what do? Do you forever stay there? Is that satisfying
I
forever?
guess, but I guess that is
Forever?
But I guess
Because that isn't your
is-
only choice.
But I guess that's the choice that you have to make, is what I'm saying. Like,
I mean, yes.
if everything's really locked down and suited with Strange, and you're just kind of like, yo, I get to put out music when I want. I don't have to like blow up.
But
as
you don't
much.
get to put out when you want. You're under Strange. You get to put out when they want. They control that shit. You definitely are not in charge, and you're definitely not the focus.
I mean, I get that, but I think like it's just based on if you want to be that or not. Because if you didn't want to be that,
But we're
you would
talking
go
about
and do your own thing.
Again, you're talking about somebody who signed a contract when he's young, blah blah blah. Like, I mean, it's pretty easy to say that sitting in a position where it's not in your face.
Right.
And then you're not in the point where you've blown up and you have fans and you have this, but you realize, and I'm assuming a bit that this is where it's coming from, but it feels like he's exploring here his relationship with Tech Nine and Strange Music and signing that contract, right?
I think it's a little bit deeper than
And
that.
for my next just to get exit, hold my breath and just text it, have my finger on the trigger. Fans told me, hold up, person. This through the Strange line, the most name brand, the boss almost jumped off the roof. Damn, that was close. Look. So I think it's like describing almost this career suicide for this desire to like branch off or to burn that bridge and kind of to branch off and go do his own thing, which
I think there's another meaning to it. I think he's also expressing his dealing with like suicidal thoughts and whatnot, and almost killing himself.
yes,
Because if we
I think that's a little bit more the focus of the second verse.
well, I think it's like both. Because in the second verse, and as you were talking about like the Tech Nine thing, right? He starts off, you call it, I ain't picking up. The checkbook ain't thick enough. So business oriented, right? To deal with the fickle business. Okay, I'm just sick of this shit. All right, so that kind of alludes to the whole complication or whatever. And then I get a message from the kids that's sicker than shit. So now his fans are starting to message him. Said they would have slit their wrist if they wasn't listening to Krizz. So it's like, I feel like and then he continues going on and how they like trying to stop, and I was always trying to overdose. So
Damn, that was close.
I like how he makes that connection of him like dealing with suicide and his fans are dealing with the same thing or whatever they're dealing with.
And I like that he ultimately makes this choice to choose to continue to do this for the fans, and it's like he gets the greater purpose of it. But I feel like at the same time, it must be so terrible to be pigeonholed into such a subservient position for your whole career. It's like, I don't mean that to be negative. I'm certain that Krizz Kaliko's life has had many great moments through
Right.
Strange Music and whatnot, but doesn't everyone ultimately want to branch out and be the boss, do their own thing?
Like I think that's the goal, right? You eventually want to be your own boss.
And I think that in his mind, that was the debate. And then even to keep going with music, is it still worth it and all this stuff? And then, I kind of like the fact that he was connecting through his fans, such a customer service oriented approach to refinding his soul and whatnot. But I thought this was a really pretty song and definitely my favorite one on this project. So I gave it a 4.5 on 5.
I gave this one a 4.2. I did enjoy it. I also think that it's a nice little way to wrap up this little 4-track EP because it's like we got a lot of kind of what he was, I guess, kind of going through, feeling like with the confusion of blowing up and becoming rich and all this stuff, and then kind of going through his little career. We had the Tech Nine track where they're both kind of flossing, which now looking back at it, I feel like even with him flossing with the Tech Nine track, it was also kind of like, look at where I'm at. Look at what I'm, I guess, kind of up against, but also what I've done to make it this far. So there's a lot of, I find like there's a lot of decoding you have to kind of make with this project. And this one, with the last track, it feels like he made it so personal and so connective with the audience that like I guess I understand a little bit more of how it's affecting him, of how it's really kind of taking on with his I guess future moving forward with the decisions he has to make. I gave the song a 4.2, and for the album in total, I ended up giving it just by the numbers, a 4.15 on 5. To be real, this is the first Krizz Kaliko project I've sat down and listened to, and as 4 tracks, it was nice. I made a comment on Twitter last night. Feel free to hit me back up with how you feel about it. But I did kind of say, alluding to, I now know why Krizz Kaliko only made a 4-track EP. My theory behind that, and I'm saying this because I did say there was an answer to it. My theory behind that is because I don't know if me personally, I'd be able to go more than at least 4, 5, 6 songs of Krizz Kaliko. He gave us some very much diversity on this project. He got some singing in there. He's got some tricky rap. But I don't know. I think this is, for me, the reason why I never got into him. I'm not really left with much coming off of this project. I like that it's 4. I like that it's short. But I'm just like...
I don't know that you can make the claim that you've ever really gotten to his music in any depth because you just listen to him as a featured person on other people's songs.
Fair.
On this project, I mean, it's a little sample pack, and I'm pretty sure it's for the fans who have been with him for a long time. And if you had gone through his career and felt the depth of his music, which I'm confused that you don't feel that he has some depth based on what I've heard in his features, because he basically pours his heart out doing a sleeve in a lot of his tracks that I've heard. And I get that you don't necessarily like his sound, but as far as the EP strategy, I mean, you're only listening to it because we're reviewing it, so I don't think you count in the conversation, right? Like if you're never gonna listen to it, that's not fair. You're putting out Denzel Curry in a split album. You were gonna listen to that, so how he releases it. But what if it was 3 tracks, then 3 tracks, then 4 tracks, and 5 tracks?
Didn't we did it? That's
and then it's like an album comes out.
That's what Big Crit did. 3 little EPs.
I know, and I thought it was annoying, and I
thought that was cool.
And I didn't like it because I thought it was boring. And I'm like, just put out the damn album, dog, or just put out the 8 tracks of your EP at one shot. You know,
Fair.
like to me, it just feels cheap. But I did like this album. It's a 4.4. It's a little taste of Krizz Kaliko. I hope that the Kicking and Screaming album's a lot better because it's a lot longer. So it also, you know, you would hope that a longer project's gonna have more depth to it. But I don't feel like a lack of depth. I feel like we got some flossiness, some no new frenziness, and yeah, that's what's up on this project. Let us know what you think about it, what you thought about, you know, Krizz Kaliko in general. Again, I want to know about the contract signing. Do you feel that was a PR stunt, or do you feel like it was super sincere and just like, you know, like a surprise kind of thing? So I'm curious to know your thoughts on that, especially the people who've been following Strange Music for a long time. If you do make the effort to leave a comment, I'll make the effort to answer you. You can subscribe to the channel for more reviews. Hit the like button if you like this one. Yeah, and special thanks to the patrons: Ismail Gadamsi, Chris Prado, Jonathan Barnes, DJ Black, Hurricane, Linda Williams, Coney Sparks. They're dope. Help us get a new camera. Helped us get on Spotify. All sorts of growth going to happen. You get to tell us what albums to review. So if you want to be cool like them, you can join the Patreon crew. We make music ourselves, so you can check that out on this channel, on Spotify and whatnot. Holden Stephan at the Alternative Grind just put it out. He's got an album coming. We look forward to sharing that with you and seeing what you think about it. And on that note, I think we've come to the end of it. So without further ado, live long and prosper. Bye-bye.